there guys, so I just wanted to give a quick little announcement about this video. Sadly, the video I recorded had to be split into two parts. Many reasons why is because the video took way too long to record, mostly due to the fact that there were a ton of ads in the video, and I edited it down the best I could from how I recorded it, and sadly it still wasn't good enough to make one whole video. So what I did was I basically split this video into two parts. I will be uploading part one, which is what you're seeing right now today. And tomorrow I will upload part two, explaining in the intro for it that it is the second part to a video that I split into two parts. The intro to this video also introduces what it is, and basically, yeah, I also will be putting in an outro to this video so you know exactly, because this particular video, when I edited it down and put it together, it didn't have an outro because I figured, oh, this is going to take too long, so I need to put this into two parts. And surprisingly, I had another video planned for tomorrow, but with this coming up, now I just had to make the second part. So part two will be tomorrow. I still hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that I had to split it into two parts. I know I've done that before on my old channel, and I've had to fix it ever since. So, yeah, we're back to that now. The problems from my old channel are coming back to haunt me. But again, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. So that's it for the special announcement. I will be putting an outro at the end of this, so please do enjoy. Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy Alex, and welcome back to the Brave Lionheart channel. And we are back with some more reaction videos today, ladies and gentlemen. And today, this actually is a special request by someone that I've only been reacting to 2 videos of, but I'm going to be constantly reacting to stuff that he's been doing. Or actually, no, I've reacted to 3 of his videos. 3, I almost lost count there for a second, but you know how it works. So this was a request by One Fish Mob. He wanted it to be a special request for me to react to a certain video that, again, will definitely be a first for me, basically. So yeah, today's reaction video, we're taking a look at a top 10 list. Not just any top 10 list, of course. Today, we're taking a look at a top 10 list of, well, basically about a show. Before I explain what it is, we all know about the show SpongeBob from Nickelodeon. You know, the old classic series about a talking sponge that lives underwater in a town full of sea creatures and has some pretty crazy hijinks that ensue with his everyday life. And we all know about the classic old episodes of SpongeBob, how they're classic and nothing will ever top them. That is true with the modern SpongeBob. Okay, let me just get this out of the way. There are some episodes of the modern SpongeBob today that I do like, but then there's the newer episodes that just make me question why. And then, of course, the fact that this is also going to be dedicated to Steve Hillenburg, who sadly passed away, you know, the creator of SpongeBob. And yeah, it honestly was sad just to see him pass and see one of his greatest shows just turned into what it is now. That. And surprisingly, we'll just see how that goes. So, without further ado, we're going to take a look at this. So, let's take a look at, I also should have mentioned who the person who made this top 10 list. His full name is going to be hard to pronounce, so I'm just going to call him by his first few names, which is Cool Cat. This is going to be the first time I've ever reacted to his channel or anything he's done. So, again, this will be a first for me. So, without further ado... Oh, sorry, my voice went way too high for a second. Anyway, without further ado, let's take a look at Cool Cat's top 10 biggest problems with modern SpongeBob. I figured it could be a bit more than just a top 10 list, but what are you going to do? Yeah. We definitely picked a good spot to start on this. That was probably a painful moment from that episode, honestly, and all the detail in it just, ugh. Anyway, let's not waste any time and jump right into the video. So, well, because I already did the special intro at the start of it, so yeah. Anyway, With that being said, let's dive right into Cool Cat's top 10 biggest problems with modern SpongeBob and see how that actually goes. And considering this will be, because I know I did a top 10 or top 11 list reaction on the channel and I wasn't sure how to do it, so yeah, we'll just figure it out as it goes along. So, with that being said, start the video in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And hopefully this will go well. Just hoping that it can. You know, let's just start the video. Let's just get this over with. Oh, jeez, I forgot about that episode. Oh, yes. Yeah, I had to make sure that the volume was working.
Ever since the movie. And by fall from grace, we mean jump out of a plane with a piano strapped to its back.
First, it may be hard to see everything wrong with the show if you're still looking at it with rose-colored glasses. But if you can take them off for a moment, you'll quickly see...
Oh, yeah. I actually don't remember what they were parodying for. I know they did the parody in an earlier episode of Simpsons.
The worst overall traits that plague the series.
There's not much else to say, so let's get to it.
Rockin' Lobster. Honestly, that is a perfect name. Oh, okay. That's a freaky image to start on. Alright, number 10.
In the early days, Sandy served as the female lead, and she was probably the least memorable.
Sorry about that.
Don't get us wrong, we're not saying her character was bad. She just had the least impact on us out of all of the characters. That being said, she was still a well-thought-out character. She was strong-willed, loyal to her friends, and had a lot of culture.
Then the new season started, and the writers decided it would be far more interesting if they scrapped all that and just made her a science nut. Guess what? It didn't. It just made her even more forgettable.
I mean, I wouldn't really say that. She is a smart character, but just... Oh, boy.
Nowadays, she's completely obsessed. Rather than her personality or her southern background driving the plot of an episode, most of the time, it's one of her odd experiments or inventions.
This is the result of an experimental growth serum I developed. It could easily feed a lot of hungry people. Once the testing is complete, the growth serum could be used to do a lot of good things.
She went from being the unique female take on the SpongeBob universe to just being a ripoff of Jimmy Neutron. Not even a
I was gonna say that's a sick burn, but not really.
Why? Back in our top 20 best episodes list, we talked about karate choppers and how much fun the karate sequences were to watch. One of the reasons why they were so great was because SpongeBob and Sandy were evenly matched, so it was hard to predict what the outcome would be. The only time in the older seasons when SpongeBob was inferior was in No Weenies Allowed. And that
I guess you could say that, like...
What? You're not a weenie?
Yes, you are.
I honestly guess you could say that it's probably just lazy writing for the creators, but... Then again, they've done some questionable things in the show before.
That one, she just turns into a hollow shell.
Did I already show you my single-wheeled roller skates? Or my helicopter that's powered by coconut milk?
Huh? Oh, yeah, that sounds interesting, Sandy, but,
It no longer resembles actual equality, but...
And yeah, that was also a problem that the lip flaps in the later episode didn't really go too well for the characters.
She sticks to a good moral scientific code, right?
Here's a psychological test to see how much weird gunk folks will eat. If it's free.
Yeah, no. Oh, I guess we're moving on. Number 9.
The overly detailed animation. Now,
oh, yeah.
Because if there's one thing that
I remember this.
It's the animation. Back in season 1, the animators had to rely on a cheap adult-style animation style. They were able to get some cleaner animation in season 2.
And they actually started doing some really decent cell shading for some of the characters in the later episodes.
Referring to the overly detailed faces.
Oh! Oh, I forgot about that! Yeah, they go so over the top with the facial features of some of the characters in the later episodes of the show. And if we're talking about over-the-top animations... If everyone remembers the episode where Squidward smashes his face in the door and he gets handsome, yeah, that's going to be talked about in this topic. Oh, and there are a lot of, like, up-close shots of that in the older episodes, but I think they were just played for more comedic stuff, but in the modern SpongeBob, Yeah, it was used way too much. Ugh. Now I'm just thinking about all the weird stuff that they did in the show.
Oh, and one of them is with the side characters. The animators seem to think that if they give the side characters a ton of facial detail, it'll make them more memorable. It doesn't. Design doesn't create character, character creates character. The reason why this hurts the show is because they waste the detail on just...
And the puffy cheeks on some characters.
And sometimes they decide that still isn't enough and give them weird ways of speaking. Just look at this twit from Extreme Spa.
Oh, I forgot about this guy!
Are the direct byproduct of the most extreme spa.
Oh dear lord, what is that?
Yeah, I'm right there with you too.
Practitioners of extreme spas.
That's not a British accent, that's Homestar Runner trying to be a British accent.
Oh man, Homestar. If that's something you guys have never actually heard of, that is an old school web series on YouTube that I doubt is on here anymore, but I remember seeing clips from it and I loved the main character of it. It's just, his voice was just so hilarious and funny. Oh yeah. But yeah. Moving on from that, the voice does kind of sound like that, but it's just, it was a bad British impression. That's all it was. Sorry, I had to scoot back just a bit.
They don't even seem to serve a purpose.
But at least this isn't as bad as the other way this affects the show, which is... Well, remember this famous moment from Just One Bite?
Does this look unsure to you?
We all knew it was funny, and the writers did too. And if something was funny the first time, it has to be even funnier the 52nd time.
Oh, yeah.
More grotesque detail.
The reason extreme close-up gag worked the first few times was because the grossest features the faces had were just wrinkles. Oh, and they were only done once or twice.
Oh, yeah, they used to do that a lot. Oh!
Assuming that's the exact average...
Oh, I forgot that from the Funny Faces episode, or whatever it was called.
Or this, or this.
It's probably not the exact amount, but you get the idea. So remember, parents who may be watching, every time you let your kid watch this show unattended, you run the risk of letting them see something like this.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Oh, that is just so wrong. Alright, moving on to number 8.
After running for a bit, many TV shows end up creating plot formulas when episodes have similar setups, and the fans sometimes use them to identify the type of episode.
Or, you know, say you do a multi-parter and then have it followed up with just filler episodes.
SpongeBob SquarePants had this sort of thing as well. There were several episodes where Plankton attempts to get the Patty formula, or where SpongeBob goes to boating school, and so on. Now you may be thinking, hey, I didn't click on this video to get a lecture in writing. I want you to talk about why you hate this show. Don't worry, we're about to get back on track here. You see, plot formulas first became popular among writers.
The punchline is reusing the plot.
But I wanted to educate the masses.
Well, then maybe you should...
No one really wants that kind of education, buddy.
Good point. Plot recycling is one of the most surefire signs that a show is starting to age.
That's honestly something I never really noticed in modern SpongeBob.
And decides to take previous plot elements and reuse them, with only a few moderate changes to the formula. It works like this. The plot formula is the type of scenario that is occurring in the show's universe, and the plot elements are the characters, events, and jokes that make it unique. A lot of things don't work as well the more they're used, and plot elements are one of these things.
Here's an example. The episode Krusty Dogs has SpongeBob encourage a major change in the Krusty Krab, and it gets so popular that Krabby Patties become obsolete. The breaking point comes when his grill and spatula get taken away, and he decides to undo the change. And you just heard half the plot of Bossy Boots.
Another example of this is Stitchin'. Now, I want you to tell me if this sounds familiar. When SpongeBob is encouraged by Patrick to skip his...
That's Hooky.
Just hear me out, okay? He's reluctant at first, but soon enjoys...
I mean, the episode sounded similar to Hooky, honestly.
When he sees the dangerous consequences that come from breaking the rules for some minor fun, he tries to head back to where he needs to be, only for a lethal accident to...
That's Hooky.
Of course it's Hooky! How could anyone not see that it's Hooky?
Moving on. This has gotten so bad that SpongeBob SquarePants has actually started recycling plot elements from the modern, crappier episodes. The Season 7 episode, Someone's in the Kitchen with Sandy, which will
I forgot about that episode.
Plankton disguising himself as Sandy to convince SpongeBob to give him the Krabby Patty formula. This episode is already a ripoff of Imitation Crabs, but there's more. Later on in the season, there's an episode called Grandma's Secret Recipe, where Plankton disguises himself as SpongeBob's grandma in order to steal the formula. Then there's also the episode Shellback Shenanigans, where Plankton disguises himself as Gary to get SpongeBob to give him the formula.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, I see what they did there. But yeah, I'm guessing right after Plankton's Plan Z from the first SpongeBob movie, which was a successful plan until SpongeBob saved the day, like he always does because he's the main character. I'm starting to think Plankton probably came up with a bunch of other plans, and surprisingly, a lot of them probably were the same. Guessing he lost his edge, maybe? Not too sure about that, but yeah, we know how that
Then
works.
there's the episode where he disguises himself as JonTron to try to get the formula.
That never happened.
Would surprise you if it did.
Uh,
Reusing plot elements is a lazy way of trying to extend the show's lifespan, but it can only get you so far. Since the show is so popular, though, it probably won't end
I
until
forgot
we've
so
done
much
at
about
least
Baby
2 of each
Squidward.
episode. By my calculations, that means the show will stay alive for, let's see, carry the pie,
What?
35 seasons.
Wow. That's depressing.
jeez. Doubt we'd ever actually go to 35 seasons or
Reusing plot
36.
points may be bad, but using nothing at all is even worse. What we mean by that is, while plot recycling might be lazy, it's still not as lazy as just cramming in a bunch of unimportant junk to fill up the runtime. Unfortunately, this is what shows up more often.
This is another clear sign that a show is running out of ideas. Filler often happens when an episode is moving along too quickly.
Yeah, this is probably where I should have mentioned about the filler right here.
In order to make it last longer. Occasionally, they might try to disguise it as an important plot point in order to keep your attention, but filler can easily be identified with these questions. 1. Does it really affect the plot afterwards? 2. Do the characters learn anything new?
I'm gonna take a guess the answer to all these questions are no.
If the answer to all of them is no, then you've successfully identified a filler moment.
Yay! I win satisfaction.
It starts off with SpongeBob working as we've already seen him do in previous episodes, until Mr. Krabs starts telling a story about a cataclysmic drain for no good reason. SpongeBob and Patrick then decide to look for it to protect it from people who might want to unplug it and bring doom to all. Even though it apparently already happened, so everyone's already doomed, or maybe Krabs is just off his rocker, but then again, they actually do find the drain, so maybe everyone just had a bunch of Phoenix Downs. Look, the plot makes sense, okay?
The point is, they try to talk to Plankton and someone claiming to be Old Man Jenkins about the drain, but Plankton just tells them what they
Yeah, that
know,
also was a
and
problem. They like to redesign characters from old episodes of SpongeBob.
About the best way to travel for a bit, and only then does the journey actually begin. It lasts for just a couple seconds before they find the drain. Now, think about how much more interesting the writers could have made the journey in the 7 or 8 minutes that they wasted. They could have had SpongeBob and Patrick travel to the ends of the sea, overcoming perilous obstacles and getting more and more nervous as the threat of the drain being unplugged looms closer.
Sorry about that. There was another ad that played in, so gonna have to edit a lot of those out of the video. Just gonna do the best I can with like trying to get it done. And also, it is just a hot day today.
SpongeBob, you're fired. Well, what happened?
What just happened?
I just blew out my anger inhibitor.
Well, here, have a drink.
Okay.
I want to do this.
Take it easy then.
Alright, get through it,
This
bud.
episode feels like it was human centipeded from the concepts of more interesting episodes. Unfortunately, none of them are interesting here. It starts off with SpongeBob just making some Krabby Patties, which already kills off 2 minutes of the episode's time. Once Mr. Krabs fires SpongeBob for reasons that we'll get into later, SpongeBob starts crying for almost 1.5 minutes straight. Mr. Krabs says he can cook well enough to take over SpongeBob's role.
Doesn't that like hurt his eyes though?
And then we have SpongeBob feeding Gary for the purpose of adding nothing to the story. SpongeBob then cries for a bit more, he's joined by Patrick, and then Patrick tries to cheer him up by showing him the fun of being unemployed. Fox News makes everyone facepalm again, and then we have several minutes of Patrick trying to cheer SpongeBob up, but he remains grumpy. This is the one place where the scenes of SpongeBob having fun during ditching could have worked, but the activities aren't even fun or funny.
Yeah, it's
Sandy
mostly just
eventually
watching
suggests
Patrick
SpongeBob
lay on his
find a new
rock.
job, and then we see that everything he tries to make just ends up being a burger. 4 times in a row.
Wow, how original!
SpongeBob goes to the cafeteria and ends up
Not really that
eating some
original.
food. This is pointless, and SpongeBob gets kidnapped immediately after. The four restaurants fight over him a bit until a patty mascot comes and defeats most of them.
Here, take him. This don't hurt me.
Okay, that's really weird audio.
Okay, I'll fully admit that joke could have worked had it been happening to Ian Hecox.
Wow, okay. Oh, taking a stab at Smosh.
Goes back to normal. None of this was ever important.
The purpose of entertainment is to entertain. Filler not only wastes valuable time that could be spent doing interesting things, but it also loses the attention of the audience. If your art medium has filler that becomes way too obvious, that's a sure sign that you need to either start over or scrap the concept entirely.
Alright, we're moving on.
Remember when the only stupid characters were Patrick and maybe SpongeBob? Those were the good old days. Nowadays,
Yeah.
it's to God that everyone in the show was exposed to the orb of confusion for too long.
Let's face it.
Oh, yeah,
people
big
enjoy
time.
looking at a fool, but no one enjoys having to constantly put up with a lot of fools. In the old days, all of the characters were well written and well balanced, each one having different qualities and areas of wisdom. Now those areas of wisdom seem to be the only things they know about. As for everything else, they couldn't know or care less.
So there you have it, Mr. Krabs. Sandy really needs our help.
Okay, explain it to me again. But this time, take out anything that doesn't have to do with money.
You are truly the greatest.
I mean, to be fair, comparing to the old episodes of SpongeBob, SpongeBob was rather particularly smart. Okay, occasionally naive at times, but he actually was a really smart character back in the old days. In modern SpongeBob, he's a lot more naive and not really that smart. Not really the best way to display your main character for later episodes along going down the line of seasons of SpongeBob. Making him just as stupid as Patrick was.
In the whole world.
Wait, I'm sorry, Daddy. How could you?
I'm full.
Yep, that'll teach him.
Characters may have lacked common sense in some areas, but they still had brains. The whole purpose of having a stupid character is to create a comic foil for the smarter characters to react to. That's all fine and good, but having everyone be stupid just gets really irritating. Especially since there's no smart characters left to call them out or bring an element of sanity back to the group. And it's fine if the characters are just flawed or have some quirks to them. But having everyone be stupid basically means that they're the same character with just a different reason why they're stupid.
Much like number 9, this even applies to some of the background characters. In Little Yellow Book, they were unable to realize that they were at fault along with Squidward in one of the most irritating scenes of hypocrisy ever. Chumbucket Supreme showed that they were stupid enough to put their own lives at risk, and Greasy Buffoons was pretty much the same thing.
Jeez.
Except
Ew, just... Ugh.
Me too. But that deluxe Krabby Patty was so swimming good. I'm gonna get another one.
Wait, doesn't that sound like Cactar from Final Fantasy Guild Quest?
No.
Nah, just multiple voice work for Tom Kenny, honestly.
with the money we made.
Why was he in a wheelchair, though?
Joke used.
As time quickly runs out, still no word from the imperiled little girl and SpongeBob.
Oh no! I'm out of coral on a stick.
This is terrible. Are you...
Yeah,
Thank you for asking. I wasn't talking to you.
they were dumb jokes in the later episodes. This was my least favorite episode.
Bad boy Gary. Bad.
We get it! They're stupid! It's not funny!
The bottom line is that there's an age-old question. Who's more foolish, the fool or the fool who follows him? As interesting as that question might be, it's now kind of hard to tell which one is which.
I must admit, my curiosity is piqued. I guess I'm piqued to peek at that book.
Okay, no.
Okay. Moving on to number 5 already.
Since the show is called SpongeBob SquarePants, it of course revolves mostly around him. He gets the most screen time, most of the plots affect him in one way or another, and he's the most iconic of the cast. So that means that when he got flanderized, we had to deal with his problems the most.
Much like the show itself, there are still traces of what he used to be. He's still an excellent fry cook, he still cares about his friends, or at least he pretends to, and he still enjoys jellyfishing. He's also become incredibly irritating.
Yeah. That honestly, I think this was the writer's decision to basically, because we know also in the earlier episodes of SpongeBob that Squidward was the only person that was annoyed by SpongeBob. And they made it very clear in the later episodes. So I'm guessing they wanted to put the audience members in the shoes of Squidward, or more like the tentacles of Squidward. Yeah, no, forget what I just said there. I don't want to think about that. But basically just make us be Squidward throughout all the newer episodes and just be annoyed at SpongeBob like he was. Yeah, great job, Nickelodeon. Great freaking job.
Yeah, that's the kind of behavior I'd sooner expect from a spoiled child. It doesn't get any better when he's happy, either.
Another day, another nickel.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, he'd take any joke as a lame excuse to laugh obnoxiously.
Are you gay?
I would laugh at that.
No, I'm driving safely. I'm obeying the rules of the road.
Alright, so like I said, this is the outro that I have for part 1. Again, real sorry if this was split into a two-parter. It just, again, it took way too long to edit, but I really hope you guys enjoy this, and I will be uploading part 2 tomorrow the best way I can. Again, with an intro saying that it's the second part to the reaction video, and yeah. I just really wish it didn't go the way it did, because I really wanted it to be all one video, but I didn't want it to be like super long, and the way it was put together while I was editing it made it look super long, so I had to split it into 2 parts. So again, really do hope you guys enjoy it. And actually, if you didn't notice, I am wearing a different shirt for the little announcement for the beginning of the video, and the same one for the outro, because when I was recording this, especially for part 2, it was a hot day when I was recording it. It was so hot that day. Like, the heat just, like, got into the room, made me look all sweaty, and I apologize for that, but it's been hot before on certain days, but whew, this one was the day I recorded this, it was the hottest. So, yeah, again, I still hope you guys enjoy this, and hopefully other reaction videos that I do will not turn out like that, because I've got a ton of other, like, reaction videos coming up, so again, really hope you guys enjoy this. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click that notification bell to never miss a new video. With that being said, I will see all you awesome guys and gals later. Bye-bye!